Okay, let's get this started. Hello and welcome back to the Cronecast at the Rising Moon. My name is Elaine, and on this channel, I do the Spirit Guide Monthly live every Friday. Last Friday of the month. I'm going to make sure that we're not going to get the screaming audio from the feedback on there. Again, hi, this is Elaine. This is the Cronecast at the Rising Moon. This is the Spirit Guide Monthly for the month of April 2022. Boy, that was a bit of a wild ride, guys. All right, so we have 4 piles and pick a card as per usual. We've got a close up on the cards right now. We're going to take a moment, see which one you really want to kind of dig into. That'll be the message that you're most meant to receive this month. I'll edit in timestamps after the broadcast today. Hopefully that's given you enough time. I think I've got the right close up on the cards. Here we go. There we go. And you guys are going to have to forgive me ever so slightly. I'm a little scattered. My dog Oscar is having a little bit of a health and behavioral crisis. So I am a tiny bit distracted. I'm going to do my very, very best here. I hope everyone had a good month. This is going to be a better month. It genuinely is going to be. Things will be improving in the month of April. In fact, right before I came on here, I was reading a news piece that the Russians have stopped advancing on Kyiv, which is what we really, really want to see happen. All right, which is the stop of the advance, the stop of the war, things getting back to normal. But we're going to be looking at other areas of life. All right, here we go. I put up the astrology videos on Monday, love and career. And don't forget to check out your reading in your sign. I've got a bunch of twin flame readings. I've been asked to do more twin flame readings again by my guides. So I'll be getting into that again soon. How to heal to bring about union. And I have a bunch of videos coming up for you. So, but I am a tiny bit tired because like I said, I've got a dog and a little bit of crisis. So let's get going with pile number 1. Remember, we've got the angel answer card and the fortune cookie card for the end of the reading. The way this works is that if there's a question that I did not answer during the reading that you had, hopefully the angel answers will take care of that. And I'll leave the cookie card for last because it's just like a little bit of a dessert. Let's get going. This is the Night Sun Tarot. I've really, really been enjoying it. The artwork on it is beautiful. I love the color schemes as well. Let's make sure I've got the tabletops out, which I don't at the moment. Oh, now we're going to have to watch me digging around with this. Here we go. Everybody's on the scene. That is pile number 1. I'll have you know that pile number 3 is missing in action at this particular moment. Maybe I'll look down and see it. Here we go. Let's get going with your oracle cards. I have challenge your perception, group number 1. One of the most important things on a healing journey is understanding that we may have had misconceptions, that we may have been wrong about something. Remember, admitting you're wrong is never a fault. It gives you the opportunity for growth and for expansion. Never be afraid to admit you're wrong, change your mind, change your perspective, gain information, and understand that we all fall under the influence of like our primary experiences, our foundational experiences, and the people around us. There is nothing wrong with changing your mind as soon as you gain new information, new perspectives. We're always evolving, we're always growing. Challenge your perceptions. Look at your life, look at the way you approach relationships, look at the way you approach your existence, and ask yourself, what can I do to improve this situation? Because quite frequently, we are trying to do things by rote. We're told, get this particular job, marry this particular person, do this particular thing, you will have a good life. And then people reach a particular age, usually somewhere between the age of 30 and 40, and they start questioning that. You do not have to follow a recommendation from a society that's telling you to make money and to contribute to an economy as your primary source of happiness. It does not work. It's why so many people end up in, why am I here? What am I doing? What do I need to change? You can still make a lot of money living in your life's purpose, but make sure that you are trying to pursue the things that light you up, that make your existence worthwhile. We are not just here to be drones, okay? All right, I have travel. All right, that's movement, that's journeying, that's going forward with commitment. All right, you may be planning a trip. You may be having a visitor come into town. Let's keep going, we'll see. I have the southern cassowary, which cassowary is apparently the most dangerous bird on the face of the earth, yay. Spread seeds of love and creativity and see them bloom. I always wonder why they chose this bird for that. That is a lovely perspective card on love, commitment, lots of things going down here that I really enjoy. Oh, we have coming to life. Group number one, what you got going on? All right, let's go. Gentle gardener. This is taking the seeds the divine gives us and tending to them. Remember, we always want these very easy existences. Everything's happy, everything's bright, everything's good. Everything contains its opposite. If you've been in an energy where it's like, oh my gosh, the misery is untold, it seems unending, that is the opposite energy of joy, and the pendulum does swing back. If you're experiencing the lowest of the lows, then know that the backswing on that takes you back towards higher, lighter, more vibrational energies that are joyful, happy, expansive. Everything changes. It is the one thing in life that is constant. Change is constant because growth is constant. If we're not growing, if we're not changing, we're stagnating. And that's not spiritual of the evolution and growth. I was actually watching somebody on TikTok the other day who was talking about surrender and the past doesn't matter and all you have is the present moment and blah, 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 and the story. And if the blah, blah, blah did not convey it, I don't agree with him on multiple things. The past does matter. You can learn from it. You can change your present by understanding your past. And as we take new perspectives on our past, instead of seeing it just from our viewpoint, but from a macro viewpoint, we can gain those seeds for the gentle gardener that will help us cultivate our garden and get the best results. Look at your past with a new eye, not in an accusatory eye, not in a way that you're defending yourself, but around the choices that you have made. Have they really served you? And it's not about self-blame or punishment. Remember, everybody stumbles, everybody falls, everybody makes mistakes. Oh my God, my 20s. Oh, that was the definition of my 20s, stumbling, falling, making hideous mistakes. But I come from an incredibly toxic dynamic. Incredibly toxic dynamic in my formative experience, like incredibly. And there was almost no way for me not to have that period because I had to learn how to do things in a way that was beneficial to my own existence. And I had no examples, literally no examples of good relationships between people. And so I kind of had to cobble them together. You're a work in process. Be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, look backwards at the things that maybe didn't go so well. And instead of like trying to protect yourself, learn from it. And it's not about condemning yourself. It's about getting better outcomes in the future. All right, so I have change from the Goddess of the Moon Oracle. You got something going on, coming to life, change your perspective, commitment and travel. This could be a job, could be a new relationship. Things are happening for you. We're working with the archetype deck for our shadow attributes, what we're trying to heal. What's your shadow side? It is the part of your personality that was formed through trauma. It is not in variance with your divine self, but we have to understand it in order to harness it, in order to make it serve us. And sometimes there are things we can resolve in it. All right, we have destroyer. Light attributes is releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life. And then shadow attribute is intoxication with destructive powers, destroying others' dreams or potentials. Hey, let's talk a little bit about this because my collective are high-level healers, psychics, manifestors, but we're also a bunch of trauma survivors. Remember those big, big emotions you have? That is the same thing as having big, big power. We have to learn how to emotionally regulate. A lot of the times when people are in pain, they go towards escapist fantasies or substance use, and again, it's not a judgment. But if you have a history, and I do have a history with substance abuse, I have actually healed from it and am in control of it. But I did, when I was in a lot of pain, emotional pain, like I numbed it with a variety of things. Once you kind of recognize what you were doing, you can kind of take the shame and the blame out of it and say, well, there's causation and then there's effect. And if I heal the wound, then I won't need the behavior. And the shadow attribute, again, is intoxication with destructive power. Now, it doesn't always take the form of substance abuse. It can be trying to control a situation, particularly in relationships. I notice that with clients who try to kind of chart their partner's movements, thinking that will make them safer in the relationship. They've been hurt, and so they don't have trust to extend. Remember, that's bringing forward an old energy from a previous relationship. The person that you're with is not the person who hurt you in most instances. Heal and heal your trust as well. And remember, we always reserve a little bit of it to be self-protective, because what am I always saying? The only place that unconditional love does not belong in relationships is your romantic life. We have to have a condition for a standard. We have to have standards for ourselves. All right, we have child nature. Friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits, and the shadow attribute is a tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. Reactionary energies go along with people who have been traumatized. So remember, if you need to work on anxiety, working on emotional regulation, grounding is amazing. Grounding is getting in touch with nature. It's sometimes cleaning up your environment. And whenever I start talking about this, someone starts talking about the weather. Listen, it's not the physical proximity, it's the energy. You can watch videos, you can watch movies, you can put in headphones, listen to balancing meditations, and clean. And that's a grounding activity as well. Whenever you're really kind of out of sorts, try aligning and grounding first. Now let's see what's coming up in April. Hopefully good things. There we go. Let's go for April. What's coming up for group number 1 in April? We're going to get a bunch of other oracle cards because one of the ways that you can kind of heal destructive, compulsive safety seeking, which is what trauma survivors do. That's that destroyer card, is by finding kind of healthful patterns to follow as well. And one of the things that I did was I kind of went towards deck collecting in a slightly compulsive fashion. It's not hurting anybody. So there we go. Let's go. And it gives an outlet to that energy. Let's go for group number 1. 1 and 2 and 3. Puddles is in here with us. My poor Oscar. Here we go. Alrighty, I have the 2 of Wands in the upright. That is plans and choices. It's the world is your oyster energy. It's also sometimes about travel. You have a travel card there as well. That comes out with the 4 of Swords in the upright, which is meditation, contemplation, rest, things being put on a pause. If it's felt like not like March was a barrage of like, poking at your sore spots to see how you'd react. Remember, I did say there would be a bunch of tests and there was no real way to fail it. But if you did not do as well as you wanted to, remember, it's not the last opportunity and we're always a work in progress. Think of your spiritual evolution as you are climbing a staircase. Sometimes we have to pause on the landing, recollect our kind of previous experience that went into programming our responses, and try again. Nobody's up there. No one's going to yank away your outcomes if you stumble and fall sometimes. I have the Justice card in the upright. That is divine timing card. It's also the card for Libras. That is the foundation on it. That's a balanced state. Good. I have the 9 of Cups in reverse. It was a tough month for a lot of people, but not like catastrophically so, just testing. I have this with the Knight of Wands in the upright. And then I have the 4 cups in reverse. I love the 4 cups in reverse. It means that cup that's in the background is coming to you. It's an opportunity coming to you, frequently a missed opportunity. Can be underlying issues that need to be resolved as well. I don't see it that way here. 9 of Wands in reverse. I have the 9 of Swords in reverse. I want those both in reverse. I love that. The 9 of Swords in reverse is like releasing fears, being able to rest easy, kind of living in a very peaceful energy. The 9 of Wands in reverse is sometimes it's about like, hey, don't go there. Because the 9 of Wands in the upright is the Wounded Warrior card. It's the Triumph over Adversity card. It's also the card of developing strong boundaries. It usually is a trauma survivor's card. In reverse like that, it can mean that you are essentially self-protective and you don't need to be as conscious of boundary setting. We have the Empress in the upright. That's the card for Russia. Let's see what's going on. Right before I came on here, as I said, Russia has stopped its advance on Kyiv. Hopefully that situation will be resolved with the least loss of life. We have the Hermit in the upright, which is a card of soul searching, looking for the truth within and within others. This always reminds me of Diogenes. Diogenes is the figure from Greek mythology who held the lantern looking for an honest man. His search is supposed to be endless. When we get the Hermit in the upright, we're looking for the truth within ourselves. It is also that, it can be the Virgo card, but it's also that card of looking for peace within. You have all 3 9s, by the way. That's 999. I have the 10 of Wands in reverse, which is feeling unburdened, not pushing too hard. Always be as kind to yourself as you can be. Healing, we think of healing, well, we think of journeys as a straight line. And we refer to that 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's not really what it is. There are improvement is not a straight line. It really can be like, I did really well, and then I fell back, and then I did really well, and then I fell back. And people think that the kind of the revisiting of those energies that have caused difficulties in the past, traumas, triggers, like destructive behaviors within self. If you have like basically a relapse, does that mean that you have undone all of your progress? No, it just means that you will be better informed about how you need to do better next time. We can't be perfect. When people talk about loving themselves and you are perfect just as you are, no one is perfect. That is not the goal. But you are absolutely enough. You are exactly who you're meant to be. And anything that you are challenged by, it's meant to be there. There are no mistakes in you. There are no flaws. And when people say love yourself as if you're perfect, that's what they mean. Everything about you is purposeful, but it does mean we do all have things to work on, because this is a great big university and we're trying to learn lessons to evolve. I have the 8 of Swords in the upright. Boy, that's a lot of like, it can be a lot of doubt, frankly. It's also not having a path forward. Let's hope that's talking about some icky things. Okay, 4 Wands in the upright. I like that. I have the Page of Swords in reverse as a text message and electronic communication. The High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess is being intuitively connected to something. It is the feminine divine, but the very mysterious form of the feminine divine. And you've got the Empress over here, who's the more earthy, lusty, like loving of life, the mother, the like, somebody who loves food, has, just has all this zeal for everything. The High Priestess is more enigmatic. She keeps her secret. She kind of holds her own counsel. When we get a card like that, it's saying there is something around a likely twin flame situation. The outcome is not meant to be revealed to you at this time. But there does appear to be some type of communication in a relationship that has been causing you some upset in the past. That's probably travel and commitment. I have the 3 of Swords in reverse, which is a healing energy. I have the 10 of Pentacles in the upright, which is very financially stable energy. I have the Ace of Cups in the upright. I like that a lot. Hanged Man. I'm going to take 3 more on this, just in reverse. Judgment in the upright. And then I have the, where is that? This is the 6 of Cups. I beg your pardon. That's the 6 of Cups in reverse. It's a past relationship. Oh, well, twin flame. This is the 4 of Cups, which is the underlying issues, it can be opulence, actually, but it does mean that something is happening in the background, even if you are dissatisfied with your life at present. Let's talk about April, because we're finally back into a world where we socialize, we talk to people, we do things. And in fact, what do I have here? Because I have travel energy over there. I have the Knight of Wands up there. You've either got an incoming traveler or you're planning a trip. Don't have a ton with family, but I do have you being very happy and secure. It really is like you had to change your perspective on life to understand that everything's pretty much okay right now. Like, one of the things that all this disruption in the greater world is proving to us is that if you have a place to sleep, if you have a place to eat, if you can shower, basic necessities are not a given and peace is not a given. Sometimes we need a reset on how we're looking at our lives, so that we can understand that even if not having what we want is not the same thing as being afflicted. We have to work towards what we want. Things come to us in the time that they're meant to, and that is the Justice card saying that. What do I have here? I do have some energy around work, good meetings involved, a project that will be put off. It's a project you've been working on with someone else. The details still need to be organized. It could be something like recording a podcast or something with that Page of Swords in reverse. There's still some more information that's needed. Oh my gosh, it's such a relief to have events to talk about after 2 years of, near lockdown. Healing, your health looks good. There's a serene quality that's coming off of this. Like, it's almost, here's the thing, you might have felt in March as if you were like shaken, stirred, and then flattened, because there were a lot of challenges. April, by contrast, will be the month in which you kind of feel like, I don't want to say like you're being given a cookie, but like it's the opposite energy of that, where things are a little bit less, there's not a lot of strain. There's a lot less effort involved. You will be examined, asked to examine some choices in your life about how you cope with stress. You have some old habits that are still kind of hanging on that you might need to examine. Let's get some energy cards here as well. And that's not, remember, this isn't shaming. It's about living the best life that you can. And being present and enjoying every aspect of life is like the first step in that. When people talk about living in the here and the now, and the TikTok guy that I was just kind of picking on for having this very broad statement that he meant well. He meant well. He was just missing a couple of pieces around why the past does matter, because when we learn from it, it makes our bright future possible. The past matters. You matter. Your pain matters. Surrender is not giving up and saying it doesn't matter. Surrender is saying, I believe that there is a divine power working in my life. And sometimes I will struggle more than I need to, but I can always accept that there is something on my side, even in my struggles. And I've been through some really, like we've talked a little bit about my childhood and a couple of other things, and I am quite mature, so it shouldn't matter any longer, but it went into forming me and how I viewed relationships, and it had a ripple effect going forward. By learning from that, I have been able to improve all areas of my life. And I don't think it's a case of being unfair to me, quite simply because for as many things that were put in my path, I was given a great many blessings, incredibly kind people. I've been given a lot of, I am very grateful for many things in my life. Don't just weigh your life by what hasn't worked or what hurt you. My life has been wonderful and beautiful in the exact same measure that it was at different points awful. And it's been a hard 3 years, but there's been a lot of beautiful things in that as well, including forming this community and having this collective and meeting these people who you need to know whatever you've been going through, you can heal and life can get better. All right, we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, the thinking woman, goddess of the moon, contract, rest and rejuvenation, with blossoming abundance. That's that project I was talking about. You have a project, it is likely a creative endeavor that you have been trying to get off the ground, potentially with it looks like that's the thinking woman energy. It looks like it's in the planning stages. There will be more to come on that. There needs to be a slight delay on it. You understand the reason why. I think there's a slight health concern on one party's side. It's not on both parties' side. Let's go ahead and we're going to, I'm gonna go ahead and get a fairy oracle, which I have not used in a while, the magical messages from fairies. There we go. Oscar tried to kill 2 vet techs today, and now he's in here trying to be cuddly. All right, here we go. I have, you've got the power. Use your abilities to resolve the situation. You can do it. And did he really try to kill them? No, it's just he doesn't like to be examined any longer, and he gets very, 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 very agitated about it. So there are a whole bunch of people who are scared of him, but I'm not one of them. Use your abilities to resolve the situation. You can do it. What you're waiting for now, after all of this work that you've done, after following this journey, and like your faith in it has come and gone, but it always returns. Because the thing that has gotten you through so many things in the past is that you don't believe that this is all happenstance. Part of the reason you get so angry at the divine sometimes is that you know it's there. You wouldn't be angry if you didn't believe there was a power on the other side of that. You just don't understand why it doesn't help you more sometimes. It helps you, it challenges you. You have a great interest in becoming a better person. That's one of the energies of the hermit. The hermit is actually the fool after being challenged by life, withdrawing in self. There are still some things to reflect on. There are just still some things to reflect on, to improve on. And remember, like you're not going to get detention or something. You're not going, the reason I'm saying that is I have a client I'm very, very fond of, but she's very concerned at different points that if she doesn't resolve things, she won't be allowed to ascend. And it's like, it's the effort as much as it is anything. It is the awareness. It is the energy going into it. Don't be a taskmaster with yourself. You make the progress that you can when you can. I have she who radiates knowing, ambition, and confidence. It is a good, strong month for you. It is going to return you to an energy you haven't been inhabiting for a little while, which is purposeful. Like it almost feels like you dropped 10 pounds just by having it turn to April. Simply, March was not a bad month, but it had challenges for you. You're going to be a lot happier. Abundance. Yes, baby. The sword and the rose. Clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. I think I was just talking about that, being able to look at your past and without judgment of self or others, try to understand what went into making some of the things that you might consider mistakes, like what caused it. There is almost always an origin for our emotional decisions. Abundance is keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, gratitude and bliss. I'm going to take one more on that. This is the Island Wellness deck. It kind of tells us what we're trying to heal. I might be getting up here in a moment to open up the window. It'll make it a little bit louder, but it's a little stuffy in here. Karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. Here's what I think happened. I think you got triggered a bunch in March. It was hard for you to deal with, and you're being really hard on yourself. Please do not give more weight to the ways in which you think you have stumbled than you do to the ways in which you have made progress. And you have a problem with that with the Justice card. You are a taskmaster for yourself, and you measure your progress and you watch it so carefully. And whenever you feel like you have been backsliding at all, you're so mean to you. Everybody backslides. We are not meant to be perfect. It's quite simply not possible. I'm going to finish up pile number one, then I am going to open up that window before I die. Here we go. Let's get a romance angel. Let's go for a romance angel. What's going on with pile number one? I want to keep going with a couple other things here first, though. I really want to get a sacred traveler energy. It's a very, like, now that the world feels normal again, and the BA2 variant did cause a problem and will cause a little bit of a problem going forward, but there's no lockdown. There's no, like, life is going back to normal. It will still be a little bit of an issue. It just will be. It caused a little bit of an issue throughout Europe and in Hong Kong and a couple of places. Will it cause a little bit of an issue in the United States? Yes, but it's been causing an issue for 2 years. We're a little bit used to this. We can roll, right? Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Hey guys, that's 2 cards around like addictions. Addiction, we use it like it's a character judgment. It is not. It is almost always a trauma response. Now, sometimes it's a genetic predisposition, and that's slightly different, but most trauma survivors go towards pain numbing. And it's kind of a compulsive thing. Codependency is when we basically attach too much importance to romantic partners, or we lose our identity to them. And you can heal from it. You can 100% heal from it. And it has nothing to do with weakness. Here's what happens. When we're born, we need a foundation. For people who have trauma, as much trauma as the people in my collective have a tendency to, you basically didn't get part of your foundation through no fault of your own. You had abusive, toxic, sometimes neglectful caretakers. You might have been bullied. There's a couple of other things that went into damaging your self-worth and your self-esteem. That's what causes codependency. You can heal it when you get older. You can provide that for yourself. That's what you've been doing this whole time, is repouring your foundation, and then you get to build a new structure atop that. If you have been having some problems with codependency, know that it is not fatal, and know that you do not have to give up people that you've been attached to either. You just have to heal your codependency. Okay, deception. Someone is wearing a false mask in this relationship. Release your ex. Let go of control issues. That's what I think your problem is at this particular time. I don't think you're codependent with a particular person. What I think it is that you have control issues. That is a form of trauma response. It is also an addictive behavior. Anything compulsive is essentially an addictive behavior. And control is actually fear-based. It means that you don't trust yourself to roll with whatever comes your way. Like, I can handle that. We can't control others. We can't control the circumstances around us. God knows after the last 2 years, we cannot control the world. What we can control is our ability to believe in ourselves, our ability to continue to see answers and solutions. And sometimes you can try and you can't find one. That is usually when you're meant to be asking for help. It's interesting, codependent people only want one person or their family. They don't understand that support is supposed to be dispersed. So you might have a friend who knows this, you might have a friend who knows that. Support comes from ourselves, from the divine, from all around us, but it can't come from just one person. And control, trying to get all the answers about what's coming up, does not protect you. Knowing what's coming up does not protect you. One of the most beautiful readings I ever got, I was like, oh, wow, those are all positive. It was not telling me that there were some, like, it blew up my life, but good. And I don't resent that, but there will always be things we cannot know. Heal yourself so you can believe in you, and you will have all the control that you need. All right, I am going to get a Sacred Traveler card as well. This is a good looking month. Lots of challenges around it. Lots of like invitations. Like people are excited again. Like your phone's going to be blowing up on a couple of occasions. People you haven't heard from in a while are going to be returning to your life as well. It's like people are re-embracing the idea of life. Now, here's where the people in my collective have a tiny little bit of a leg up. I'm likely to repeat this in every group because it's very important. It's time that people hear the message. You're a trauma survivor if you're attracted to me as a reader. Like energy attracts like energy. I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It most closely resembles that of war victims, and I stutter when it starts triggering. It's really hard for me to talk about. No matter what my demeanor is, when I'm an emotional masker, like most PTSD survivors are. Remember, everybody else around us has just been through a tremendous amount of trauma, and some of them weren't used to it. You will be, because you have survived so much and you're so functional and you've been going forward under so much strain, you're going to find out how strong you are by seeing how others struggle in the aftermath. As the tension is finally lifted, people will be able to react, and you're going to get a bird's eye view into how truly strong you are when it's like, oh, wow, you guys really aren't okay. This is what my whole life has felt like, but it's new to you. And that's where the role of healing comes in. I have discovering the truth. You stand in the light of truth and choosing your path. All is possible. Everything you've been through in the last couple of years. And it has felt like at times like the divine was just personally against you. It wasn't, and it never has been. The divine loves you so, so dearly. And we are given an opportunity to heal and led to the healing energies around us, the healing communities, because we are guided. You are never alone. And our guides are always working with our choices, not the other way around, which is not to blame or shame you for anything. Just saying that if you feel like, why did the divine do this? Why did they do that? They're working with our choices. They do the very best that they can. And we need to examine our own choices to have better outcomes. Here we go. I have Moon. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. There is something concealed around this, but I very much get the sense that it is something good. That metamorphosis energy that is on this, and courage, you're going to understand that you really are going to understand how courageous you've had to be your whole life, and you've never thought of yourself that way. You may have anxiety issues. You might have an anxiety disorder. I do. But you've had to be very, very courageous and highly functional despite that, and despite having probably a lot of trauma as well. Ground as much as you can. Don't fall back into bad patterns. And by the way, because it is a trauma response, does it function exactly like an addiction where it's like, you can never go near that substance again? It depends on the person. It depends on what substance you might have been going towards. Usually when you heal the trauma, you can have moderation and self-control around things. If I sound a little hoarse, I'm very, very slightly hoarse. All right, here we go. Let's get these out of the way. We're going to get to your angel answers and your cookie card. Now, remember, timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast, and I'm going to jump up for a second to open up the window. I believe we have opportunities. Listen, it was a great month in business. If you've been looking for a job for a little bit, like watch for your phone to just be lighting up, watch for a lot of opportunities to be coming to you. We're entering into Aries season, which is a season of personal power. There's a lot of fire. There's a lot of tests. There's a lot of need to Be the strongest version of you. And that's part of why you were so tested from January 1st up until about April 1st. And then I have a firm no, and I'm not sure what it's about. But again, the premise behind this is if you asked a question that I did not answer, then hopefully that cleared that up. Let's get number 2 on the table. It is now cooler in here, so I'll leave that for the next pile. It's not like I'm wearing funny pajama pants, which occasionally happens when I'm reading for clients. I'm like, okay, I'm standing up, but I have rubber duckies on my butt. Sorry. There we go. And I've been back reading in person a bunch. So it's been funny for clients who know me through YouTube to discover that I dress professionally when I go to my office. They're like, oh, you're wearing a dress. Yes, I don't always just wear t-shirts. Let's get going for pile number 2. Edited in after the broadcast will be timestamps. Have a beautiful month of April, pile number 1. Let's see what's going on for pile number 2. Trust in magic. Trust in magic. That's manifestation. The stronger your emotions, the greater your personal power. Don't forget that. That's why healing, which gives us the ability to emotionally regulate, means that you can become an incredible manifester and an incredible magician. And here's the part where like routinely somebody thumbs down me on this. I'm sorry, this is just the way it works. I've been doing magic a long time. You cannot actually pretend bad away. You cannot say everything's good. I only focus on the positive. It's important to envision positive outcomes, but you cannot deny your reality because that energy is still there. If you have trauma, you need to heal it, release it, and resolve it, and then it's no longer in your energetic field. And the law of attraction can work. It absolutely does. It works best, and you get results that stay with you when you've done your healing work. The law of attraction will absolutely work, but there will be a counterbalancing energy that comes from that negative energy that you're trying to pretend isn't there. We cannot wish away our need to learn, to heal, to grow. Fear. That might be the thing that you're trying to take some steps around. Fear is very, very natural. It is incredibly natural for people who perhaps weren't safe from birth. The way to cure it is to believe in yourself. When you're healed, you believe in you. You know you can face all challenges, and you don't give yourself enough credit for all the ways that you have. Taking steps, heal, 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 heal. Don't forget, angel answers, cookie card, didn't answer anything. And then if you have a question that I do not answer in this particular reading, hopefully the angel answers will help you out with that. I use the cookie card because it's just fun. It's like getting a fortune cookie at the end of it. All right, I have Emperor Penguin. Hey, it's Emperor season. Again, Aries season is coming upon us right now, and it is a time of personal power, of fire, of drive, of success. I have Emperor Penguin. Small steps lead to a profound metamorphosis, taking steps. If you're afraid of something, if you're agoraphobic, for instance, you have trouble leaving the house, which has set in for a lot of trauma survivors, they found that they really liked lockdown. They felt very safe and protected. You can actually kind of make bargains with yourself. If you're afraid to go to a function, you can say, okay, I'm just going to drive there, but if I'm freaking out in the parking lot, I'm going to give myself permission to go home. Okay, I'm here. If I go in and I hate it, I'm going to stay for 10 minutes, but I give myself permission to go home. It's taking things in small steps and not beating up on yourself. You're not, because that's what happens to people who have anxiety around social engagements, is they don't allow themselves any plan B, C, D. It's the only thing is go and succeed or go and fail. There is more to it than that. You can have go, hang out, excuse yourself and go home. You can go, stay the whole time, and then spend 2 days at home so that you can recharge and refresh. Innovative solutions are good in healing. I have making a choice. Woo, what do we get? And then I have, magic stream, lots of magic cards. Magic stream. That is the idea that everything is interconnected. And this can be a really, really hard one when you've been through a lot. Making a choice in magic stream. The worst thing that ever happened to you made the best thing after that possible, whether or not you realize it. Nothing stands alone or happens in a vacuum. The magic, trust in magic, taking steps in fear, you will manifest even better when you have resolved that fear. And is a little bit of fear good? Oh yeah, it's self-protective, but it's not terror. It is boundaries. It is awareness. It is being able to tune into your surroundings. But fear is healed when you believe, even if something goes haywire, even if something goes south, I have me. I have everything I need to solve this. All right, we've got from the goddess of the moon, fruition. I've got manifesting energy on you guys. Oh, dude. Okay, archetype cards are bringing us our shadow work. The shadow work, of course, is healing the form of our personality that was born in trauma. That doesn't mean like getting rid of it. Like if you have a bad temper because the only way to protect yourself was to start blowing up at people, you can resolve that by like responding, not reacting. But that fire, that drive, it's harnessing that energy to fully fuel you towards kind of a fruition and success. And you can take that exact same energy and turn it towards your goals. It is that which destroys us. If we gain control of it, can build us. All right, I have companion. Loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness, but the shadow attribute is betrayal by misusing confidence, loss of personal identity. That can be a codependence card. Also, like, remember, if you're hanging out with somebody and they're telling you everybody else's secrets, that's how they're talking about you when you're not around. And if you are talking about somebody else's personal information, try to remember you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. It really, like, your nerves cause some things sometimes. We have visionary, capacity to envision that which is not yet conceivable to others. Pile number 2, like you're manifesting the crap out of things in April. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. But the shadow attribute is selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. Being your authentic self will give you the greatest peace with yourself. Part of the reason that like self-love becomes so important, and one of the keys to self-love is self-admiration. The easiest way to achieve that is to be the best person that you can be, the most admirable version of yourself. And again, we don't beat up on ourselves when we stumble and fall. You just go, oh, I wish I'd done better. I'll do better next time. That's all. That's all. That's all. It's easier to achieve self-love if you set a standard for your behavior and try to meet it. You don't beat up on yourself when you can't meet it, but it also gives you healthier relationships, because when you have a standard for yourself, you have a standard for others. Let's get going. This is the in-between tarot. And we're going to get an April predictive spread for my group number 2. So let's get going here. I have a bunch of twin flame cards coming out. I've got a reading coming out, I think, on Sunday for that. I've been doing a bunch more relationship readings because I was quite frankly told to. And in fact, I think I was like in February talking about how my cards would not leave me alone about romance, about romance, about romance. It's like, dude, I'm focusing on something else. No, they were trying to tell me in business and career I should maybe focus on romance more, because it's one of the areas that is the last to heal for people, because it's complex. We can understand ourselves, but then understanding others as they interact with us. And it's also a stage in healing from codependency, is learning how to have healthy relationships after you've healed from the toxic ones. There we go. Let's get going. Group number 2. What do we have for group number 2? Hey, stop that. There we go. And 2 and 3. Yeah. Hey, Jason's thumb. I just looked over and saw the thumb of Jason. I'm always teasing Jason. I don't even know how it started. He always gives me a thumbs up and I talk about his digits. All right, we have 7 of Pentacles in reverse, which is a card of not needing to do something. It's a card of, it can't be scheduling, but the 7 of Pentacles in the upright is a card of process, of having patience with it. Some people see it as failure. I occasionally see it as failure in reverse. I do not think that's the energy here. I think it is a accomplishment, like mission accomplished energy. I have the 6 of Swords in the upright. That is leaving a difficult situation behind. It's rest, it's rejuvenation, it's peace, it's rescue. I love it. Oh, atop the 6 of Wands on the upright, that's the graduation card. That's the victory card. That's the promotion card. It's being admired, it's being successful, it's a great card. Can be physically moving as well. I've got the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. It's a bit of a feeling of insecurity about something. King of Swords in the upright, air sign energy. It's also truth and clarity. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's funny. I genuinely, I don't often call out astrological implications because I'm an empathic and intuitive reader, and I have a tendency to, that's what I follow. Personality traits, emotional traits, particularly as they were kind of programmed into us, usually from our formative experiences. So that's the thing I'm most likely to talk about. It's weird. I get an air sign energy from that. I have the Empress in reverse. That's the card for innovative solutions. It's also the card for, it can be a little bit of overindulgence energy. So watch that. High Priestess in the upright as the internal influence. This is one of the more interesting High Priestess cards I've ever seen because there's a baby on it. It is like you're starting over again. Companion. High Priestess is the mystery of the divine. It's intuition as well. It can be a card for readers. I have that with the 10 of Cups in reverse. That's in the external influence. I have the 7 of Cups in the upright. That's a manifesting energy. I have it with the Magician, gray. Page of Pentacles in the upright, which is another spell card. And the Ace of Pentacles, which is success. It's the beginning of something new and fruitful, particularly in business. This is beautiful. It's also a new relationship. The 8 of Pentacles in the upright, learning lessons. Knight of Cups in the upright. Group number 2, want to hang out with you. 3 of Swords in the upright. The 3 of Swords is, it's not my favorite card by a lot. It can be a lot of trauma and a lot of pain. It can be loss. It can also be a health concern. In reverse, for me, it's healing. I've got this in the upright. In the first group, I said, yeah, the BHC is causing a problem, but it's an itty bitty one. It genuinely is. It's like, we're also thankful to be able to move around very freely again. But it's still out there and it's still doing a couple of things. It will disrupt a couple of things, and April is what it looks like. But what I've kind of got here with that, learning lessons about, I think the choices that you made in the past that did not serve you, like you might have gone towards relationships in both work and in romance that were about kind of like establishing your self-worth for yourself. It looks like you now know that that is innate and unquestionable and within. Your job title does not give you worth. Your partner does not give you worth. You are worthwhile. You have worth. You are worthy, just as you are. And then, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. 9 of Wands in the upright is a card of good boundaries with the Star in the upright, which is a card of dreams coming true and psychic connections. This is super psychic pile with a bunch of manifesting energies. I have the weirdest thing. It's like somebody tried to block you magically and it never got to you. Like your intent protected you. Strength card in reverse. Yeah, that's a little bit of ill health. Kind of don't worry about it. 9 of Swords in the upright. 2 of Cups in the upright. Okay. This is going to be hyper specific and not true for absolutely everybody. You may be somebody who took the time to heal and have been spending some time by yourself, and you have not been getting back out there and trying to date or anything. It's entirely up to you. Something's coming to you anyway. It's not through a dating app. I'm not sure how it happens, but like you're going to have a real world meeting with somebody. Looks like it goes well. Looks like there's a lot of magic with it. You're already happily paired up, then that part of the message is not for you. Work is steady and strong, and you please don't overwork yourself. That is something you worked so hard on trying to learn not to do. There's so much success around this. I think it's prosperity magic that is manifesting. It could be a lot more, like for real. Like remember, prosperity is not just money. It's abundance as well. Abundance contains all things in it. This is a beautiful, happy, successful, progress-filled month for you. You have fear around relationships now. You do. This is for some people here. You've got fear around it. You don't want to extend yourself too much. You're different. You did all that work so you'd be different. You don't need to be afraid. door to personal healing and happiness. This is a good looking month, and good because March was, like I said, it was like cramming for the finals, taking the LSATs. It was a tough one. We're not quite through it yet, but we will be soon. Community. 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron, all tied up. I'm telling you, somebody tried to block you. They did try to block you. It did not work. And I am like, if you've ever had a reading with me, I'm never like, hey, somebody's casting black magic at you, because it's very rare that that's actually happening. Sometimes it is. It depends. It depends. But it is like somebody cast against you and it never reached you. We are protected when you have. Here's why intent is so important in magic. That which you don't reach for cannot reach you. So if you're not reaching towards darker motives, part of the reason I don't do baneful magic is people can curse me all day long and it can't get to me any longer. And was it because I used to do baneful magic? No, I quit doing magic for a long time. My ex-husband was afraid of it. And somebody cursed me during that time and like really tried to basically it seems kill me. It did not work because I'm very protected. But somebody tried to cast against you and it just didn't even get to you, because you're on a path of enlightenment, of your intent is very good. And having good intent, you do not have to be a perfect human being. You just have to be constantly reaching for your higher self instead of like, hey, I'm going to backslide and reach for my lower self here. All tied up, Magician in the Mirror and adjacent possibilities. It's like some magic you did. If you're a practitioner, if you've been trying to manifest, if you've been scripting or any of that, it's coming to you in an ever so slightly different form. You won't be sad about it at all. I think it still involves exactly what you were asking about, by the way. As a particular person. That King of Swords energy, like I said, I get the energy of it being a person. Pardon me. If no one has ever worked this out, I'm actually a little bit allergic to Oscar. Pardon me. All right, here we go. Let's get the wellness cards. Abundance just flipped onto my arm. Keep a positive mind fest. Manifest exactly what you want, gratitude and bliss. The last group got that card as well. We are collective, particularly when we are practicing the same kind of gifts. We have heartbroken. That fits with that. Deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning. Grieving is also a meaning of the 3 of Swords. There is with that 6 of Swords the potential that people are grieving. Remember, as we move around more freely in the world, and there's a lot of community energy, there's getting together with friends, there's activities, there's going out, like there's just a lot more social stuff. There is going to be kind of a mourning energy. That's what it is. It's not we all feel like we got 2 years stolen. We all feel like we had 2 years stolen out of our life. It's okay to be a bit bummed about that, but know that you can make up for it and that it gives you a greater appreciation for the life that is offered to you now. I have self-indulgence, focus on self, self-worth, time to heal, shadow work, self-appreciation. It's weird. I get this card a lot and I can't figure it out. Sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. I don't think you have a stalker, but I think it's like somebody does like keep tabs on you. Like they're not stalking you. Like how can somebody like keep tabs on you and it not be stalking? It's like they watch your social media. That's a social media card. They watch you for something, and it's not creepy at all. It's supportive. It's supportive. It's like you have somebody who has been on this whole journey with you and you don't know it. And you don't need to be weirded out by it at all. They're connected to you spiritually. They're part of your soul family, I think. Let's go for the higher love oracle cards. What else have we got going here? Work is interesting because, like I said, you're going to make sure that you put into practice your healthy work-life balance. You cannot, no matter how hard you work now, you cannot secure your future 20 years from now. Look at the world around us. So much is in flux. Just live from the here and now for right now. You have a tendency to overextend yourself, trying to chase after safety. and that's a fear response. Safety is something that we create with our actions every day. But the greater world has pitfalls, it has minefields. You don't need to know where they are. You just need to know that when they come along, you'll be able to diffuse them. All right, I have take a stand. Very interesting. Crisis and disappointment. Wishful thinking is a manifesting energy. Soulmate. Loss issues. Karmic bond. Give me just a second. Taking a stand is knowing what you believe in. The crisis and disappointment, well, we've got a couple of crises still going on in the world. Wishful thinking can be fantasizing, but this is all about manifesting. Soulmate, it's like bringing something to you. It's bringing something to you. But the crisis and disappointment, I think that was part of a block for you as well. Like you kept trying to make something happen and you wanted it to be time and you wanted it to be time and you wanted it to be time. And you're like, why isn't it happening? Because you still had a little bit of other work to accomplish. That's all. Now that soulmate and loss issues, and here's the thing, like it really is like somebody in your soul family, and a soulmate is not necessarily a romantic partner. We have a soul family. It is almost like you've lost somebody from that soul family, and your community is, you're able to connect with your community again within the month of April and kind of like confront some things. Talk about the crisis, the disappointment, the loss issues of like you've learned things, you have a perspective that helps other. Lion, harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. There's so much progress energy for you. Oh my goodness. Birth, universal energy brings you opportunity and possibility. Okay. The high priestess here, and the high priestess always has an infant, but this one has only the infant. There's the birth of something new in your life. It will, I think it's a new relationship. And it's going to cause you to like fear about what that means to you is one of the things that's coming with that. Meaning that you're, the progress you made, you have learned the lessons. You might just have to read your notes again every now and then. You're frightened around something. I think somebody who hurt you might be coming back into your life. And you're not certain you want to let them back in because of that. You're different. The way you can protect and have better boundaries and so many things about you, you're a different human being now. Trust and believe in the work that you have done. In terms of like where things are happening, boy, the back half of the month is so busy. The first, it's a busy month. It's just a busy month. You're busy with work. You're busy with everything. Like it's almost as if, it's almost like you've rediscovered interest. Oh, release control. You're not the group I was talking with about how control is a codependent behavior, because it's safety seeking. It's fear-based. It's trying to control things rather than trying to control ourselves. That's why being controlling is an issue. You cannot control those around you. You cannot control who they talk to, who they see, where they go. But you control your inner world. You've learned a lot of things around that. Faraway places, get ready for new horizons. Yeah, there's expansion. There's expansion socially. There's expansion monetarily. It is a much easier month. It is a much easier month. Your ability to connect, honest to goodness, it's like you don't even have to meditate to do it. It's just there. Yeah, let's go. Let's go for the romance angels for group number 2, visionary and companion. that companion energy. Like I said, somebody who hurt you, potentially a friend, is coming back into your life. I think you struggle with what to say to them. Don't worry, it'll come as it's meant to. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all, new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. If the first quarter of this year was about your proving ground, taking tests, now this is the beginning of everything new. New relationships, new friendships, all those skills you took all the time to learn are coming into play now. I cannot remember if I got this, so I'm going to get another one. I don't think I did, because the first group got You've Got the Power. Let's get a magical messages from fairies, because you had so much manifesting energy. And if you've been trying to envision a better life, trying to envision more friendships, more money, more excitement, more, it's coming. And not at the like slow drip rate that it has been doing for close to 2 years. Instead, they're like vast new horizons are opening up to you in a nice and like steady flow. It's not going to be a giant explosion, but it's going to be a little bit of a sea change. I have, oh, thank goodness, healing, healed, healer. And that's what happens. For the people in this collective who have so much trauma, you took the time to heal, you're healed, and now you have the ability to help others as well. Affirmations: to lift up your thoughts and energy and to attract what you desire, use positive affirmations. That's a lot of manifesting energy. All right. Did I get everybody I was supposed to? I think so. Let's go ahead and we'll get your angel answer card. Watch that fear thing. Like really try to step outside of yourself every now and then and just kind of observe. Like almost like you're looking at another person. It's not to critique your own behavior, but it's to see the ways in which you've changed, which sometimes you don't notice. Your angel answer card is, it's up to you. You have a new relationship that wants to be in your life. Like now. Nature, interact with nature in the outdoors, around animals, farmlands, or by the ocean. This will be good for the soul and healing for you. Hey, here's the thing. I never find this paragraph to be very helpful. I usually only just go by the keyword. Grounding, it helps with fear. And you've been a little bit experiences have been filtered. Like there must have been times where you were screaming, is anything ever going to change? Is anything ever going to happen? Yes, but you had that kind of like slow energy around making those things happen because you kept thinking you were ready for more than you actually were at different points. Again, not a criticism. I do not think I'm going to find that number 3. Where are you, dudes? How did it get away, man? All right, so group number 3, I'm very sorry. I'm just going to have to talk about, that's 1. I cannot find number 3. So number 3, we're just going to have to say that I have a pen here or anything. No, number 3 is going to be the pile that doesn't have a number on it, I guess. All right, I'll just try to keep saying it's group number 3. I'm moving on to group number 3, the mystery group, the unnamed group. Come on, guys, where can it possibly be? Did one of the dogs eat it? I don't get it. I cannot find my tabletop for group number 3. Let's get going anyway. The manga deck, the traditional manga deck, is going to be bringing you a predictive spread. I will edit in timestamps after the broadcast. I'm tripping over my tongue today. I'm actually really tired. Like I said, Oscar's been having a thing all week. All right, we've got see yourself in nature. Look for signs in nature. The universe is always essentially trying to talk to us. It's trying to let you know that it's there. And like, we can kind of be like, oh yeah, I saw a butterfly. I saw this, I saw that, I saw a bluebird. And then like that, when things aren't happening in a timely fashion, it can start to feel like being mocked or something. There's going to be so much going on. When you start seeing those signs, it will feel like validation, affirmation, and proof. Okay. Keep an eye out for a bunch of synchronicities around some things that are happening. Family, friends, and guides. Every area of your life is getting better. Thank goodness. Present power, headed into Aries season. The only thing about doing group after group like this is I have a tendency to need to say the same things over and over again. Aries season is about personal power. It is about knowing who we are, having control. The wisdom of Solomon is part of the Emperor energy. Angel answer, if you have a question I did not answer during the course of this reading, hopefully that will help you out with it. And then I have a cookie card as well. I don't even recall pile number 2s. Did I do them? I feel like I must have. Where could they have gone? All right, hopefully I did it. Here we go. I have pheasant. Adapt to place and circumstance to discover happiness and contentment. Adapt, adapt, adapt. There's a lot. Okay, one ring circus. You're not used to being around a bunch of people any longer. Shield and ground a bunch. Like you're a little bit of a sponge and you're not thinking of it that way. Details, details. Journaling helps tremendously with understanding, because it's going to be a little bit overwhelming the ways it feels like, kind of like the combination lock finally clicks into place and things open up. It's going to freak out just a tiny little bit, but in a good way. Realization is the goddess of the moon energy. Our archetype cards are bringing us the shadow attributes and the light attributes. Our shadow attributes, shadow self, is the personality that was formed in trauma. We are not meant to eradicate it. We're meant to understand it and to harness its power. Understanding its origin gives us more control over it. For instance, if you're very fear-based and you've always had an anxiety disorder, you're very controlling. If you look back and it's like, hey, I had whenever I use my child as an example, it's like, oh my God, that's terrible. I just had I was very, very blessed in so many ways as well. But like I at one point ate popcorn for 2 weeks type of thing. I didn't have enough food. And it's left me with food issues my whole life. Like sometimes when I get really stressed out, I can't eat. And it is because it kind of puts me back into that time period of my life that lasted for about 3 years, where I just didn't have enough food, like between the ages of like 12 and 15 on a regular basis. And one of the things to do is when you understand that, you gain control over it, you have more power over it. It's like, well, why am I okay? If I don't want to eat, that means I'm anxious about something. That means I need to ground. That means to understand when you get that resurgence of something that is attached to a past trauma point, you can then say, it's coming. I must be feeling that feeling again. It must be triggering that. I don't know what's going to happen. Everything's scary. How do I deal with that? You ground, you talk to yourself appropriately. You can detail. Journaling is so important because it gets our feelings out where we can see them, confront them, interact with them, and understand them. All right, I've got Virgin, light attribute. Maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. I was just telling the last group, which had manifesting energy like crazy. Purity of intent helps protect you so much from like anybody trying to cast against you. But it also helps because people can feel it. What you put out there comes back to you. And then the shadow attribute is fear of intimate union. Fear's coming through on a couple of these things. Like you don't like to get, like I said, you don't want people too close to you. Like people being around you, like it makes you're associating your healing with like being isolated by things like lockdown. That was like being put into a healing ward and having as few like stimulating experiences to accelerate your healing. Like sincerely, it was beneficial. 5 years from now, you'll be like, what a boon. Right now, you're like, I tear my hair out in chunks. We have King, light attributes, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. But the shadow attribute is excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Even when you know that you're powerful, even though when you know that you're healed, like kind of always check in with yourself. Always write down journaling is very important. If you don't like to journal, use voice memo or something. We really have to be able to interact with what we're thinking and feeling from a different perspective. And the easiest way to do that is to record those feelings, thoughts, ideas and in a way that we can revisit them. You will learn so much about where you are and the progress that you need to make and the progress that you have made if you are doing that regularly. You can also, like, just record little tiny videos to yourself or something. Every day to yourself. It will help you so much in purging negative emotions. The purity of intent. Approach the world in an open and in a compassionate and a loving energy. That which we put out there does come back to us. And like, it doesn't feel that way sometimes because it can take a little while. Remember, the longer it takes, the more magnified it is when it returns to us. Let's go. Let's go. What do we got for pile number 3? Yeah. So we've got, I love this deck. It's so much fun. I've been reading people in person a whole bunch again. And I'm so glad I bought all those tiny little decks for my downshot videos so that they could fit in the frame, because it turns out they're so much more comfortable for my clients. 5 of Pentacles in the upright is an anxiety card. It can be a card of deprivation, loss, feeling left out in the cold. 8 of Swords in the upright, this card of doubt. 2 of Wands in the upright. Oh, that's the doubt around, like, you enjoy being isolated. I feel you on that. Like, I keep telling people I could not talk to another person for 6 months and I kind of wouldn't notice, but like, that's not true. I've been saying I've been reading more people in person. It's so much fun. I actually really love doing it, and I actually really like people. So 2 Wands in the upright is the world is your oyster. More is coming to you. I've got this weird travel energy again. Knight of Cups in the upright. 7 of Wands in the upright. Holding your ground, asserting yourself, card of overcoming. It is holding the high ground as well. Ace of Swords in reverse. Temperance in reverse. Oh, okay. You're going to have like a couple of opportunities to really appreciate how much you have grown. Like, you keep your own counsel a lot more than you used to. Like, if somebody says something that ticks you off, you're more likely to be like inside of your head, that's really ticking me off. And nothing comes out of your mouth. And that's progress, because you are responding when you open your mouth, you're not reacting. And that gives you a lot of power. We have the King of Wands in reverse. Several things around, like, feeling like you're the master of your own domain. Ace of Wands in the upright. Lots of wand energy. That's the Sagittarius card in reverse. 9 of Wands in reverse. King of Swords in the upright. Page of Cups in reverse. 8 of Wands in reverse. High Priestess in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. 6 of Cups in reverse. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Lovers in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse. Okie dokie, my trauma folks. 5 of Cups in reverse. Interesting. Somebody from your past will kind of have a resurgence in your life within April. It is not to freak you out on any level. It is an opportunity to let you understand how much you truly have grown. This person is like, they're challenging. They're challenging. You've known them for a while. They can trigger your anxiety. There's some kind of like, it's like they can't quite get to you. It's the strangest thing. Like, it's like there's something that is like they're reaching out, but they cannot quite reach your shore. And it's not bitter, and it's not hard, and it's not angry. But it's like someone from your past who traumatized you. Like I said, it's an opportunity to feel your personal power. See yourself in nature. Okay. You might encounter them out in the world somehow. There's a very interesting energy around that. I'm going to grab some energy cards. What do we got going on with work? This is fun because I'm finally back to being able to look for real world events. I'm looking for anything. There's no difficulty there. If you're looking for a job, I have new positions. I have an easing of circumstances around healing the past. Like, it really is almost like you're going to understand that that virgin energy, it's going to be like you're restored. It's a good month. A lot of like you're still you struggle with wanting to socialize. Who are my people? You struggle with wanting to socialize. And like people keep asking you to do things in April and it trips you out, but like it looks like you're willing to give it a shot because I've got multiple plans that work out well. It's like there's I don't have the Three of Cups here, but it's like there's a party or something. I have the Thinking Man, which is the same thing as the King of Swords up there. And that's the guy who's disappointed. The door to romance. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, patience, which is with broken heart. And then first chakra, Archangel Michael. You're so healed. I do. I have people flirting with you and I have a new relationship for a bunch of people. You try to keep it at a very like emotionally detached level. Probably because you're a little uncertain around where you stand. That's good. This is my trauma group because it's associated with the element of water. And so it's associated with emotions. You don't need to be afraid. You really don't need to be afraid. You will, like, you're going to know how different you are, but don't be afraid of feeling things for people. Like there's a little bit of that. Like it's almost like you're afraid to fall in love. Let's go for some wellness cards. Here we go. You have a lot of opportunities. It's stuff from the past. You're healed. Like you did your work. You're feeling powerful. You've got abundance coming to you. What are you again? Adapt place and circumstance to discover happiness and contentment. The relationship is going to be different, but it needs to be. Like part of what you were trying to heal from was that your past kept kind of infiltrating the relationships that you had. And you healed from them. And it's like that virgin energy. I get it. It's like you don't know how to have relationships now. You'll figure it out. You genuinely will. It'll be a lot better. But you're not going to need somebody. And it's going to throw you for a little bit of a loop because you're going to think that means that you don't care about them as much. I think it might be somebody from the past. Clock. Needs time, takes time, time and cycles, time to heal and progress. Paradise. Happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. Camera. Reminiscing, keepsake, perception. Learn from the past and make memories. You have a new relationship starting. And could it be with somebody from your past? It kind of looks like maybe it is. It doesn't have to hold true for everybody, but you feel differently because you're healed, not because the nature of your feelings have changed. That kind of really all-consuming, can't stop thinking about that person, that obsessive stuff. Like you look back on it now and you recognize that actually wasn't, that wasn't actually fun. Like I actually don't want to feel that again. You're not going to. It was a function of something you were trying to heal from. Like you're not going to lose your identity, like and like be overwhelmed, and don't worry, you did your work. There we go. Let's go for the fortune reading cards. I said I have a bunch of new videos coming out. This group is always going to be kind of like 500-600 people basically, because you're healers, you're manifestors, like that's my collective. And then, I read for I have people I read for and then people I advise. And the people I advise are the people in my collective. Wish, your heart's desire is ready to come true. I'm going to take one more to see if it's going to do what I think it's going to do. World, be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. I thought it was going to bring up love. I have people, and again, if you're not single and you're like, but I have a person, I have a husband, I have a wife, I have everything, that would just mean that this part of the message is not for you. But I have a bunch of people who've been hoping and wishing and waiting, and your heart's desire is ready to come true, and be open to the way that it will function now. All right, I'm going to pick that up simply because it was kind of got lost control of it there, but it said express your love, and then it had unrequited love in reverse. And I don't read these in the reverse. I never read oracle cards in the reverse. But that really would mean somebody returning your love. So here we go. Oh, deception. Someone is wearing false self mask in this relationship. Attraction and soulmate. Emotional sublimation, repressing feelings because you're afraid of expressing them too strongly, was something in your past. But you've gained control of that. And the deception, it's like you don't want somebody to be important to you again because you haven't had that happen since you healed. And so you don't know how you're going to strike that balance. Give yourself the opportunity to learn. You're not going to lose everything you worked so hard to put back together. Did I get the wellness cards? I did. Did I get fairy card? I don't know if I got a fairy card. I'm going to get you another fairy card in case I'm being redundant. I apologize. But I want to make sure that the groups get all the same cards. Here we go. Can I get a fairy card for dietary change? Improve your diet and your life will also improve. This is almost certainly for me. I have been making the effort to cut back on sugar because that was like my one remaining, you're not very good with that. And I'm doing fairly well, but it's cracking me up by how aware of it I am. Because I actually have a fairly healthy diet, but I do have a little bit of a problem with sugar. Okay, let's go ahead and get your, did I get you? I did not. I'm sorry, I'm a little scattered right this second. I think what's throwing me is like you want to go into a full-blown retreat when you feel something. It's like you're going to try and retreat back into your fortress. Don't do that. It's not, well, when I say don't do something, you have free will, do whatever you wish. You do not need to keep yourself safe. How's that? You're seeking safety because it was really hard to get where you are now. You did a lot of work. You cried a lot of tears. Like, I wish people would talk more about that. Healing's hard. It does not feel good at first. It feels bad. But it's like exercise. When you get over the soreness, then you feel really strong. Healing's the exact same way. When you get rid of the emotions that were holding you, that you would repress, that you didn't want to look at, that were too painful, you're stronger. Your emotions they don't threaten you. They sustain you. We have lasting love and happiness, limitations, lasting love and happiness, success and perseverance. I want one more on this. Prepare for change. I am glad I went for those. Group number 3, what I have coming up for you. And this is, of course, going to only hold true for my people who don't have a person at this particular time. You have a new relationship beginning within the month of April. You're going to draw back. Question that, please. Question that. Because I don't think it's about not having the feelings that you want to for this person. And could it be a person returning? Maybe, because I've got that 6 of Cups in reverse, or it could be the influence of the past that is causing you to act that way. And act that way. It's not like you're doing anything wrong, but you're denying yourself something out of fear. And you did a lot of work to make sure that you could have the best life possible. Let yourself have abundance. We have weight, tough and trying times. Tough times ahead. Think, no. Oh, okay. Listen, this is usually about the question that, like, did you ask something? And here's your answer is wait. And then tough and trying times. You keep trying to put it off. Like, you keep trying to, like, not get involved with somebody. Like, I think you might want to just be like, it's just a sex thing. And then very, very particularly, that seemed to be about buying a home, which is not present here at all. Wait, tough and trying times. It's like the price, it'll be a better atmosphere at a different point. The Fed just raised interest rates on that. Yeah, I do follow all that news. I have to do money and career reads. So I am for somebody who does spiritual work, I'm very much very price sensitive. I do a lot of like scientific research, financial research. We live best in a state of balance. There is something about that where, like, don't jump the gun on something. Don't jump the gun. Like a situation is going to improve there. Wait. Fun. Okay, let's move on to pile number 4. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful, beautiful April. I'll see you in May. I hope. Get these out of the way. And that was pile number 3 without its table talk, which I have misplaced. I can always make another because God knows they're not anything other than paper with a big magic marker. Number 4, I'm moving on to you. There we go. Let's see what we've got in your Oracle cards. Muse cards are bringing you your predictive spread. I'm sorry I'm so blind I can never really see the chatters. I saw Jason's thumb. I'm using my whole hand to wave at Jason. I'm sorry I'm being goofy. Here we go. Be honest. File number 4, be honest. With yourself, with others, authenticity, living your authentic life will bring you the greatest happiness. New and supportive connections. Is everybody going to have a new relationship that they're trying to get away from? We have increase. All right, I have the angel answers. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast, by the way. The premise behind this is if you have a question in your mind that you're like, what's coming up? This is important to me in April. Hopefully this card will give you the answer. And I just like the cookie card because it's normally fun. There are like rough cards in there sometimes, but I love this particular deck. I can like take a 7-card draw from it in the morning and it basically gives me a sentence. It's the strangest thing. It took me a while to figure out that's what it was doing. Like they kept falling out in these great big chunks and I'm like, well, that's excessive. And then one day I laid them out and I was like, that's a sentence. All right, here we go. Macaw, think laterally to solve a problem. Remember, there are always more solutions than you might believe there to be. I have Talisman, which is a card for wisdom, having learned your lessons, being able to impart them to others as well. Heal the ouch. It's like you're going to be able to help other people with the process. Increase with new and supportive connections. Sincerely, is like everybody getting a human balance, balance in the upright. What great energy is surrounding this collective this month. Beautiful. We have the archetype cards, which have our light attributes and our shadow attributes. And the shadow attributes are just things that are lesser self, our darker self, that we're always trying to tame and master so that we can harness the energy of it without having it control us, is basically that. Like having I'm always sharing that I'm a very fiery person and my whole life I've been working on my frickin' temper and I do a really good job with it. But like every now and then, I'll be in the car and I'll just like rage scream my head off just to let it out because it's the only place I can do it where it's like my neighbors won't hear me. I won't be freaking out my dogs and primal scream therapy in my infinity. We have angel, light attribute. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. You're helping people somehow. Shadow attributes, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Remember, there is no shame in having a darker side to your personality. We all have it. We all have an icky monster within that we're trying to tame and have it be our friend and the friend of others rather than the destructive force that it can be. Like no one's pure light. Like we really are, we're all just a series of choices away from being a really good person or a really bad person. And like bad, good, what does that mean? There's light and there's dark. If we go towards light, which is very loving, that's what I consider good to be. Society has it's different. It's different. Good and bad are defined within, not by an exterior source. Okay. All right. And then I have judge. Light attributes, balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power, balance and justice, huh? I like that. Scales are being balanced. Shadow attribute is offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. We're going to find out what that's about. What work could you do with that? Offering only oh, that's self-work too. Remember, give yourself accolades as well as criticisms. Now, it is important to hold ourselves to a standard in order to keep going towards our higher self. It really is. But when you have a difficulty with something, don't just beat up on yourself. It's counterproductive. Recognize what maybe didn't go as well as it might have, and setbacks are normal. It is not just a straight line. We go up and go down, we go up, we go down. We're meant to. You're living in a very balanced state though. And then yet another, think laterally to solve a problem. Feel the ouch talisman. It's almost like something in March made you think that you didn't make the progress that you have. You did. Listen, you are super tested. You're super tested. You're very concerned about the state of the world. If you're kind of like, you know, big boom bang, sometimes you're allowed to be human. Even when you're healed, no one's ever going to be an angelic deity. They're not. Instead of being so, oh God, I backslid, maybe look at it and say, how much better am I than I used to be? Because you're like a flaw. We're meant to have them. We're meant to have counterbalancing things. One of the things I tell people all the time is that which makes you awesome can also make you suck. And that's normal. And it's not that you then suck when you like have it turn that, you know, the darker side. Everything contains its opposite. That's what the archetype deck means. So if you are this bright, light, sunny person, like sometimes you can have depressive thoughts. You can like, I can like every now and then when I'm really tired, I'll sit around and cry for hours. Like, you know, like, and it's not about anything in particular, but like I have a tendency towards being incredibly optimistic. And the opposite energy of that is that sometimes despair just overtakes me and I have to ground and balance. And it always works. I did a balancing meditation right before I got on here to make sure that, because I was stressed out over Oscar's stuff earlier. And so I wanted to make sure that I had like, you know, cleaned up my root chakra and all kinds of things before I got on here. Two of Pentacles in reverse is holding something. Oh, it's holding somebody accountable. Holding somebody accountable. Oh, who's getting held accountable? Eight of Swords in the upright. This card has been in this position in every single pile. I'm pretty freaking sure. The Eight of Swords is doubt. It can be not having a path forward. I, of course, am hoping that it means that Russia gets the heck out of Ukraine. High Priestess in reverse, which I still think is happening, and the news in the last couple of days is supporting that they are rethinking their strategy and hoping going the heck home. Ace of Wands in reverse. I think you lost your temper. You're being really hard about it. Four of Pentacles in the upright. I have the Magician in reverse. I have the Ten of Wands in reverse, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, Hierophant in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse. Remember, reversals are not bad. No, I didn't pick up the deck upside down. I read reversals and I shuffled. So what is going on? You're being too rigid. You're being too rigid. Let's keep going here. Three of Wands in the upright. Too rigid with yourself. Like you're very forgiving of other people, but you're really not of yourself. The Wheel in reverse. I have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Five of Wands in reverse. Good, that's peace. The Fool in the upright, brand new beginning. These two, this is the internal influence. This is the external influence. These three cards clarify this. The Ten of Wands in reverse is releasing something, not being stressed, not being burdened. Death card in the upright is a new beginning. It is transformation. I have it with the Page of Swords in reverse and the Ace of Cups in the upright. So despite all these reversals, the Ace of Cups is part of your emotional influence area. You're very happy. Why is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse there? I think you have an opportunity to take time off of work and you just won't do it. Like you're a taskmaster. Like you're somebody who wants like you do. Like you won't let yourself goof off. It's like you make yourself earn everything. Listen, it's important to be responsible. It is, but like what this is saying here is like you will not let yourself relax until all work is done. Please lean in on learning the lesson that that's not what life is for. We're not here to fulfill responsibilities. We're here to learn and to experience. And it is a great big university. It genuinely is. That doesn't mean that life is nothing other than a series of lessons. It is supposed to be you go to class and then you have time to goof off. And you don't like to let yourself goof off. Yet again, I have another, like a relationship. I didn't take the other cards. I beg your pardon. I got really scattered there. Strength card in the upright. That's robust physical health too. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Five of Swords in reverse. That's 3 cards of peace. I'm going to take that. Five of Swords in reverse is the end of a conflict. We've got the Five of Wands in reverse, which is the restoration of peace and not struggling so much. You're overcoming anxiety, but you have to make the choice a lot to inhabit a healthy energy. Like you keep catching yourself like backsliding on things. And like I said, you're too punishing to yourself. You are too punishing to yourself. Be honest. You can never be as hard on other people as you are on yourself. Goddess of the Moon in the upright, Angel of Balance, Contract, which is a justice energy. This is the air group normally, which is like intellectual matters, communications. And like, does that mean, it just means the element of air is ruling your month when you're drawn to 4. You should actually be drawn to different piles every month because a different element will guide you every month. Healer of the Ages, Adjacent Possibilities, Magician in the Mirror. I love your month, but there's something here that's bamboozling me. And like, if it's not obvious, what is it that you're struggling with so much? It's not like rigid attention to routines for safety. Like you used to do that. You've really worked on it. You've gotten very good at standing up for yourself. Judge. Good Lord, how much judgment energy is in this place? Judge and Angel. Group number 4, you have a really interesting month. Watch your tendency to be hypercritical of yourself. Let's get to more of the practical concerns on this because I want to see what's causing it. You try to do too much at once. As soon as like you've had several setbacks likely around your health or not feeling very well. It was to kind of slow your roll on things. You're going to be feeling very, very healthy within the month of April. And you're being cautioned against like overwork yet again, but it's not because you're a workaholic, it's because you're hyper responsible. Like I said, you make yourself earn goofing off. It has been a really, really hard couple of years. Let yourself goof off a little bit more. There is no high school principal in the sky that's going to come down and assign you detention or send you back. You won't be like denied graduation if like one day you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat ice cream all day. I'm not going to answer the phone. I'm not going to do any work. I don't care that the laundry is piling up. I'm going to enjoy my life like I'm 8 years old and I have no responsibilities because I feel like I've carried the world throughout COVID. Let yourself find better balance in terms of you live life by a checklist sometimes. This is done, this is that. Now I can go have a massage. Now I can go take a bath. Now I can, like, it's like you schedule in your self-indulgence as well. What have I got with you? Balance, judge, justice scales balancing all over the place. Let's get this going here. Truth is coming to light in the greater world, and you're going to be satisfied with the outcomes. This coming back to life energy around your ability to have a more diverse experience, like you likely, like you have a profession, but like you might like withdraw so far into self that it's like you can't be reached as soon as you're not working. I'm not saying get out there, mix it up and mingle if you're not comfortable doing that. But remember, you missed things. Like you missed being able to go to the movies. You missed being able to go to restaurants. You missed things. And you will enjoy them more if you allow companionship more in your life. competition and challenge. Crisis and disappointment has been all over this one as well. Soulmate, commitment and marriage, intellectual matters. Oh, okay, well, that's potentially true. I don't have it here. That's interesting. Somebody might invite you to a party or to a wedding, and your knee-jerk response is to say no, and you don't want to get a +1, and please consider it. Like you haven't done that in a long time. Just for the diversity of experience, encountering new energy. You might have panic attacks in crowds sometimes. Remember, grounding helps with that. What else have we got? Let's get a fortune reading card. Listen, it's interesting in terms of, I've got all these aces in reverse, and then I've got the Ace of Cups in the upright. It's like you're being asked to plan a vacation or something, and like you don't want to, and then think laterally to solve a problem. New supportive increase new supportive connections. Like it's time to get back out into the world, even if it's not about dating or anything. It genuinely is. The self-protective energy of isolation, it helped you with a lot. It helped you stop whittling your world. Stop whittling your world. That's what all these reversals are about. Stop whittling your world into a smaller and smaller shape. Thorns, weathering the challenges ahead will bring a new and positive future. Coffin, natural endings abound, take care with your health, and then birth. You have this weird like phoenix from the ashes type of thing. Universal energy brings you opportunity and possibility. For some people, you might be a little bit older and you have decided that one part of your life is done because you have not had very satisfying outcomes. Stop defining things by where you are in a chronological order. Age is an energy. It is not a number. Now, our exteriors can age, that's true, but your mind, your enthusiasm, your experience, your joy in being alive does not come with a chronological, and past the age of 40, everything sucks. It just doesn't. No matter what the media has told you, there's a programmed response. Go by how you feel. And if you whittle your world into a smaller and smaller shape, of course, it's going to feel like, well, it's probably time to turn these lights off because nothing's happening. Let more happen. Let more happen. Good work month, frustrating conversations in which you're going to be very aware that you're like the deciding factor in things. That's that judge energy and that balance. You've got people coming to you asking you to solve problems, and you do it. Like there's no issues with this at all. Like there's no issues with this at all. Fool, Ace of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles in reverse. Like you want serenity and peace so much that you are no longer allowing enough to come into your life. And it's basically going to be kicking down your door in April. Everybody's very excited around you because of some developments, and you're going to be asked to join some things. Okay, join. Like you can always leave if you don't like it, but if you want things to change, start by changing something. Like if you want things to change in the greater world, change something in your world. Be open to change. Do something differently to have a different experience. Let yourself have different experiences. They're not threatening. They're not scary. They're expansive. Butterfly. Relationship evolving into the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. You're the only group that didn't get menace. Oh, yes, you did. New supportive connections. Love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction. Not today. Not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation or a call, person, boundaries, still angry. You're shutting out too much. You're shutting out too much because of past pain. All right, I get it. Stabbed in the back, heartbreak, pain, separation, disruption, shocking attack. Because of some past difficulties, these people are trying to come to you back into your life. You're being invited to parties, particularly at the end of April it's something in May. You're being asked to go. Your knee-jerk response is no. Please say yes. Have that expansive experience. You get to buy something pretty to wear or something, cute or something handsome, or like, I don't even know what guys do. Let yourself have new energy and it will help transform your life. And then I have I like you. Someone likes you. Romance is blooming, fun, flirting, want to date. All four groups have something about new relationships trying to enter your life and you're resistant to them for a variety of reasons. Please allow yourself to have new experiences. It doesn't have to take any form that you don't want it to, but safety is not routine. And that keeps coming through over and over again. I love this though, because if you're going to do it and you're so happy, like you feel, you know how different you are. You know how different you are. You went on a journey to find something that you either thought you lost or you didn't think you ever possessed. And you found out that the version that you had was exactly suited to you and could be reinforced to make an amazing structure. You've never wanted to be like other people because you're not. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of fun to be had with other people. And group 4 gets this a lot, my little isolationist group. I have, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And then trust, the situation is calling for you to have faith. That's what I think it is that there is somebody who would like to get to know you and you are rejecting them from a place of, I don't want to alter the life that I put so much effort into building to make it happier. We are not meant to remain in place. Life has an animating force in it. If you want to have the best experience that you can, allow yourself to enjoy what is there, but know that it does not have to be on repeat for you to feel happy and safe. What if you could be even happier? You've done a lot of work to be happy. Let yourself be even happier. All right, group number 4, we're taking a look at your your angel answer and your cookie card. This is a year from now. I don't know what you're asking about. Intuition. Trust your intuition. It's a great time. A year from now. It's like you're wondering when you're moving or something. A year from now, sometimes I read the guidebooks, sometimes I don't. That happened to be one that I stopped one day to read. And it means that whatever you're asking about can come to you over the course of the next 12 months. So that a year from now, you're living with whatever it is that you're asking about. Remember, if you are hoping to have something change, change may not come to you in the form that you are comfortable with. Change is actually not really meant to be comfortable because this is an expansive experience and we have those little growing pains around it. So it can be challenging, but challenging can be fun. Okie dokie, that was the Spirit Guide Monthly for April of 2022. I will see you again in, oh my goodness.